What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast once again. But it's not our standard episode this week. It is a very special one because the Obi-Wan trailer's dropped and we're here to talk about it. Very keen. We're going to break it all down. We're going to talk about all the big talking points. But I couldn't do it with anyone else but my co-host. Mike, how are you today?
Hey, I'm excited to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Finally, we got that trailer. Well, they first teased us with some little glamorous pictures, but then they dropped the full trailer on us, or what they're calling the teaser trailer, which was lots. Teaser trailers, you expect something, but not as much as they gave us. So ready to break it all down.
Definitely. And I mean, straight off the bat, you already have me wanting to talk about this because they said teaser, which implies there's going to be another one. I honestly hope there's not, but I think there will be because I feel like we got so much. I'm like, I just want to go in as blind as possible to what's going to happen. But we'll talk about that, I'm sure. But yeah, as Mike said, that Entertainment Weekly article came out. We saw all those pictures, and can I just say, I wish they did that a few weeks ago so we could talk about that for a few weeks. And then the trailer drops and then we could talk about that. But instead they dropped that and then hours later, I got to say, personally for me, this was just not ideal. I was up till 3 a.m. covering the Entertainment Weekly stuff, go to bed. 2 hours later, the trailer dropped. I woke up really late and then I'd missed all the hype. But I'm here now to talk about it, so I'm keen.
Yep.
But I guess let's just start with our overall thoughts, Mike. How are you feeling about the trailer? I know you were also didn't drop it at the best time for you because we've been ready for so long, and then this was like the one day we were like, okay, it would be nice if it didn't come out today, and then both of us were like, oh, of course it comes out
Right.
today. It was
Right.
still awesome though, but let's hear our overall thoughts, your experience with it. How'd you go?
Yeah, so yeah, as you were saying, I woke up and I got a slew of all these glamorous pictures that had dropped like maybe 30 minutes ago since I had woken up, and I woke up at 8 a.m. or 8:30. So I was like, what the heck is going on? But so I did the Instagram coverage, posted what I could, was like, wow, there's this really cool picture of Obi-Wan in a cave. I'm like, I could so relate to this just because I was feeling so down about something. And yeah, as you said, this trailer just did not come at the best time for me. However, once I people were like, was this a, what would you call it? Like a little warm up or something of these pictures that were dropped by Entertainment
Yeah,
Weekly. It's like, what's
yeah,
going on? Is this like a warning of a trailer or something? And I'm like, no. The trailer won't come out now for like another week or so. As you were saying, I wish we got these pictures like weeks apart from the trailer, weeks in advance, because we could talk about this, some of these stills like for weeks on end. However, then I caught on Twitter that it was actually Disney's Investor Day call, and I was like, oh, not one of these boring old stats meetings. We might get an Obi-Wan trailer, but I'll tune in either way. And people were grilling Bob Chapek on something, so that was interesting. But yeah,
yeah,
they start going into their Star Wars section, and I was like, oh, I should pay attention to this. And he gets up on there, starts talking about what, we're to here to expect for Star Wars for the Disney Plus side. And, we got the Andor stuff, we got the Kenobi. It's like, all right, Andor release date? No. Kenobi, any trailer, any tidbits? You had to wait till like the end. There's like an awkward pause, and he was like, also, we got a trailer. I was like, oh yes, let's
yeah,
go. So I switched gears and was like, but wait, I'm not emotionally ready for this. Like I just felt like I was still covering the news from the morning. So it's very hard to hope people know this. Like as a fan, yo, I'm down. Sometimes I'm not feeling it, but sometimes I'm just like, Kenobi, let's go. But as like a content creator, as Ari was talking about, sometimes it's really stressful. I'm like, man, I was just making a post for this morning, so it could be like my afternoon post, and then this trailer drops, and yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
We both did that as well. We both had stuff ready to go, and then the trailer came out. It's like, well, guess we're not using that.
Well,
But that's
so
that's a content creator's point of view, though. Like, yeah,
yeah,
as a fan, I was just like
yeah,
ready to go.
like
But what do you
give
think
it to
of
me.
the trailer?
Oh, the trailer! Wow, that was Ari, in like a previous podcast episode or something, or maybe even my private talks with you. I said that the only thing that I wanted from this trailer, because you were on the team of, if you guys don't like market this show, but don't even give me a trailer at all. You were
Yeah,
on that team, right? You were in
exactly.
that camp. I was in
Definitely.
the camp of definitely give us a trailer. However, just give us Obi-Wan riding the sands of Tatooine, as Boba
Yeah,
might say. Just give us that. Just give us that.
yeah,
I don't want anything like like seeing like any hints of Obi-Wan fighting Vader. I don't want anything like that. Save that for when it debuts on Disney Plus. I just wanted Obi-Wan riding his what do you call that creature? The Eope or something like that.
yeah,
Some you have him riding that through the desert. I'm okay. Some cool lines, so the first 30 seconds of this trailer, I was like, stop right there. I'm in. Like I was already in, but I was like, it's so nice to get imagery of Obi-Wan in this dark time of his life. So I was in. But then yeah, as the rest of the trailer went, I was like, I just felt like everything was thrown at me and I didn't even know how to react. So overall, great trailer. I thought this was a great way to promote the show. There's some questions I have and some things like, okay, you guys are really pushing for the Inquisitors here. Okay,
yeah.
go watch Star Wars Rebels. But if you want to know more about
Oh,
the Inquisitors
absolutely.
or play
I just
Fallen
assume
Order,
I don't know why, but I assume everyone who like
right?
watches and listens to us has like just seen everything, read everything. But yeah, if you haven't watched Rebels, go do so.
Go do
Such a good
so.
series,
Go do
and
so.
it'll introduce you to Fifth Brother, Grand Inquisitor, all that. And
Yeah.
let me say, they will not look the same. They will look a lot better. We'll talk about that later, though.
But yeah, I couldn't wait till here's the thing though that people don't understand. I'm in Chicago, Ari's in Australia. Very completely different time zone. So
Yeah,
I want to message him because I consider Ari a really good friend. And I was just like just besides fellow podcaster and stuff, co-host,
yeah,
I want to text him and be like, Ari, what did you think of the trailer? I couldn't do that. I couldn't talk to the
yeah,
only guy that I cared talking about Star Wars with. I couldn't text him and be like, oh my God, what you think of the trailer? So I had to
yeah.
wait like 5+ hours and be like, well, Ari will be up soon. And Ari, we talked before we recorded this, some feelings on the trailer and stuff. How you feeling now? And any big takeaways there? Like, wow, did not need to see that, but also I needed to see that.
Yeah. I mean, overall, just loved it. I just yeah, I really didn't want to see much. I wanted to see something, but I really only wanted like 30 seconds of footage. But I'm not going to complain at all about that because I'm excited. But uh, as I said before, I kind of just wanted to go in completely blind. If I wasn't a content creator, I would consider not watching the trailers. But
Hmm.
of course, we've got to and get excited. And this was awesome. Like I will admit, I went out last night. So then when I when I woke up this morning, I wasn't quite like in that mood to watch it, and I watched it, and I was like, I was still in bed. I was like, oh, that was good. But then I got ready for my day, and then once I really got a good chance to sit down and watch it, I was like, this is the best. And I watched it over and over again, 10+ times. I just could not get enough
Hmm.
of it. But okay, yeah, the Grand Inquisitor stuff. We're gonna talk about that, but that threw me off big time because I was so just like, what? Like, yeah, that's a conversation for later on in the podcast. But that was like the only thing that I was, raising my eyebrows at. But everything else was great. That yeah, as Mike said, that first 30 seconds, I was like, man, this is awesome. We've got Obi-Wan through the desert. Just everything I wanted it to be, everything I imagined it to be, come to life. The highlight of the trailer, of course, we'll touch on this, but was definitely Owen Lars. I don't know what it is. I was not excited to see him at all, but then I just saw him, the same actor from the prequels. The name's slipping on my mind, but
Joe
and I was
Edgerton.
like, yeah, and I was like, this is man, this is something. Like this is Revenge of the Sith come to life 10 years later,
Yeah.
And then don't forget, Hayden Christian is still coming back. Please, 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 Lucasfilm, do not show him in a trailer. Keep him for the
Oh,
show.
really?
Yeah, I do not want to see him. That the breathing at the end of the trailer, that was enough. That was perfect. That's
So
all we need.
you don't even want to see like Darth Vader in one of the trailers?
No, no, no,
Oh,
no, no.
wow. Okay.
I don't want to see any of that. I want that all to be a surprise and yeah. But overall, love the trailer, but let's just get cracking into it. Let's go through this whole thing. You know how me and Mike do it, similar with the Book of Boba episodes. We're doing that, but with the trailer this time, which is very exciting. Um, so yeah, as we said, we both sort of just were in agreement. That first chunk of this trailer was awesome. We got Obi-Wan on Tatooine, and then the line. Man, this really hit me. The fight is done. We lost. And me and Mike were talking before this, and I was like, man, I did not expect. Like I expected it, but I just didn't think about how sad Obi-Wan is probably going to be. He's had to fight, Anakin, his brother, all this. Like, obviously, we all know this, but I'm just like, for us, it's like that's all. Oh yeah, that happened. Like get over it. But it's
Right.
like no, this is still this is like almost traumatized this man. So I'm really excited to like dig into the character and like how is he going, because clearly it's not good. I want to talk about the Entertainment Weekly picture. They were a good look, but there was one that really stood out to me, and that was the one of him sitting in that cave, and he seemed to have his bed set up.
Hmm.
I'm really curious. Has he been living in a cave for 10 years? Because like I was watching Alex's Styles Explains video on it, and he was saying like, yeah, maybe he's punishing himself. And I thought that definitely could be true, because he could feel like he let down the Jedi, he let down Anakin, even maybe like Ahsoka, who knows? Like, so I'm really this first bit just got me so excited to see like, oh, I'm like, wow, we're really going to see Obi-Wan Kenobi smack bang in the middle of Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. And yeah, I don't know, what did you think of this? This was just grouse, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It really hit me just because, as you said, we all know Obi-Wan went through a time through this dark time in his life. Like we all know he went through hell basically. But to see that, to see like a warrior character, like an A+ character that we see Obi-Wan, like he is the hero of the prequel trilogy, to now being like, weeping down in the seams, like that's kind of sad. So it's like it's sad to see like your favorite character mope around, and pay the price for what happened in the events of Revenge of the Sith. And it gave me it felt like I was watching at the first 30 seconds. It felt like I was watching, one of the teaser trailers for Avengers Endgame. Infinity War. You have this big climatic
Yeah.
action that happens
Yes.
and devastating
That's a
effect.
great point. Yeah.
And then here's this trailer. I'm like, ooh, the dialogue reminded me of what Iron Man was saying, like we lost or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, love that parallel, intentional or not. Just still took me back to that time. But man, yeah, as I said, I feel bad for Obi-Wan. I don't like seeing him in this state, but yeah,
Yeah.
we're about to go through a journey with him. So I'm interested where where this series is gonna take him, and just seeing him in a cave. I was like, could we see some, is he punishing himself? Sounds really sad. I rather see
Yeah.
him I rather see him with Qui-Gon appear to him, or maybe even Master Yoda, the way
Yeah.
he appeared to
Oh man, Qui-Gon. I
Kanan.
haven't even thought about that today.
Oh, yeah, so many
Yeah.
things that I'm just like, wait,
Yeah.
where's Qui-Gon? Is Qui-Gon gonna be in the
Yeah.
series? But yeah, I'm sure they're saving those big surprises for the series itself. But yeah, I would love to see some cool stuff in that cave rather than Obi-Wan be sad, because I do not like seeing Obi-Wan sad.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's been 10 years obviously, but man, he fought in a war for 3 years that, not only did they lose, like he lost everything. Not only the war, he lost everything. He lost his brother, his family. If you like, I would say like the Jedi is probably like his family, lost all of
Right,
that.
right.
So man, like, yeah, just I don't have anything else to say besides this is just exactly what I want this series to be. And that was like,
Right.
oh man, it just felt like my imagination come to life. So
No,
um
right. If
yeah.
we spend the first like episode with Obi-Wan just sulking throughout the deserts of Tatooine and being like, just showing us his like daily
Yeah.
routine, get up, go to the market,
Yeah.
get some food for the day, come back, sulk around in his cave, meditate, cry a little, like
Talk to Qui-Gon,
talk to Qui-Gon, be like, hey
yeah,
Qui-Gon, this is how I'm
visit
doing
Luke,
today.
check if he's all right.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, exactly. I would love to see that. That would
That
be
would be
great.
awesome.
I would
Yeah,
not complain. I would not complain.
definitely not. Yeah, and then moving on to the next sort of bit, we've got Obi-Wan watching Luke, and then at the end of that bit, it's like stay hidden. So clearly, no surprises once again. Very true to what his goal, which is stay hidden, protect Luke, all that. So yeah, and we see young Luke, which man, I think everyone knew, yeah, we're gonna see young Luke in some sort. He probably won't have a major role. It probably will just be like in the distance, just looking on. But I was just like goosebumps watching it. Did you feel the same?
Yeah, I was actually shocked at first. I kid you not. I was like, what kid is that? I didn't think it was Luke at first, because I was like, no way Lucasfilm would put little Luke in a trailer for us. Like they
Yeah.
usually have everything
I think they
behind the
realize
scenes.
now that Luke is just gonna make them
Yeah.
money after the Mandalorian.
I mean, which is good because it's like, yeah, if he's not gonna play that, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's gonna play an important. His character is gonna play an important role in the series, but we're not gonna see him all that much. But it's
Yeah.
gonna be like, Obi-Wan's motivations, Obi-Wan's like, to-do list. Like he's just gonna play a major role. However, I was just not expecting to see him in the trailer. I was like, it took me a second. I was like, wait, that's not a kid. That's Luke. Like that's Luke Skywalker. So that was really cool. I love and you're talking about the line of like stay hidden. I wonder who he's talking to. I don't know if he's talking to like it sounded familiar to his message of the holocron message we see in
Yeah.
Rebels. That would be cool if we
Yeah.
get to see him replaying his
Yeah.
own message.
I
That
reckon
would
he's
be
talking to
cool.
Qui-Gon.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
stay hidden. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know
Because
who he.
maybe he's or maybe Owen even saying like, "Don't worry, like I'm staying hidden" or something, and then he does it, and then he brings like the Inquisitors to the Lars homestead, and maybe
Ooh,
because that's another thing I want to talk about is
yeah,
let's talk about it now because while we're on the Lars homestead,
right.
as I was talking about before, I'm so excited to see Owen in this series. But are we going to see in this series the turning point for him of like not liking Obi-Wan and getting to that stage in A New Hope where he's like, no, he's just a crazy old wizard. Don't go near him. Like, are we going to see that here? What do you reckon?
I really hope so. I think that's one
Yeah,
of the
me too.
more interesting threads. In that they've like, I mean, you have Obi-Wan just dropping this baby off to his blood, I guess. Baru and Owen at the end of at the end of Revenge of the Sith. And it's like, okay, cool. And they have this like, little moment. And we've gotten some hints in the comics that of like some of the antics that Obi-Wan does. It's not really his fault, but
Yeah,
we get some of the stuff there. But like if we got like as you were saying, if we got like a definitive reason here, that would be really cool. I would really, I think, appreciate that. And I think what this series is trying to do is like bridge the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy together. So I think
yeah,
that's going to be cool. But yeah, that would be one of the things that I would be like, yeah, that makes sense. That was cool. I didn't need to see that, but that was really cool. I don't
yeah,
know. I feel like that's
definitely.
one of the more moments that I'm like, yeah, I'm sure we could like fill in the blanks, but also it's like when they do fill in the blanks for you, it's like, oh yeah, as you were saying, just like my imagination.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, though, from there, it gets spicy. It spices up because Duel of the Fates comes in, and man, they really were. I was before we record, I was like, they really cheated in this trailer because
Mm,
they wanted the Star Wars fans to feel something, and there's all the soundtracks. They were playing a bunch of others as well. But Duel of the Fates kicked in once again, chills. I think
yes.
everyone felt that. So it sort of felt like, oh, like, this is the life what we're having with Obi-Wan. It's like, it's not great, but at least that he's surviving. And then it's like, oh, wait a second though. Dun-na. And then it kicks in. And then we see,
I just want to say the Duel of
yeah,
Fates thing. I was so taken aback because I was like, this is not the trailer I was expecting.
yeah,
That moment
yeah,
I was like, this is gonna take a turn, and then everyone started going crazy because people were like, oh, is this are is Darth Maul gonna have a
yeah.
rematch with Obi-Wan? And I was like,
Nope.
no, I don't think so. Go watch, as we said, go watch Star Wars Rebels. But also,
Yeah,
you don't know how many countless times we've heard Duel of Fates in trailers. Like, go back to the Clone Wars movie; it's in there. Darth Maul was not in the Clone Wars movie. Obi-Wan
yeah,
did not fight Darth Maul in the Clone Wars movie, so it's okay. Wait, you even heard Duel of the Fates in one of the early Rebels trailers. I think it was the trailer for like Spark of Rebellion. And yeah, actually I should do a post on that. It's like Obi-Wan's talking about staying hidden and you get like a snippet of his message that's shown in Spark of Rebellion, and then you have Duel of the Fates playing in the background. So they're just yeah, as you said, this is just their cheating card of being like,
yeah,
hey, we're gonna hype you up. We're gonna reach it up to like
yeah.
max 1,000. So no
Ain't
worries. I
nothing
don't think
wrong with it though. It worked.
no nothing wrong with it. And also they
Yeah,
played Duel of the Fates when Yoda and Palpatine are fighting. I think and Anakin and Obi-Wan too in Revenge of the Sith.
yeah,
So it's nothing new, folks. I think this is just like bringing on that like prequel energy. So I'm all for it.
definitely. And so in from that music, we go to what we're pretty sure is Fortress Inquisitorius from Fallen Order, for those familiar. pretty sure, not 100%, but we're pretty sure.
Yeah.
And there's like an Inquisitor meeting. We see the back of the fifth brother's head, a few other unidentified Inquisitors, and Moses Ingram. Sorry, I probably butchered that name. We see her for the first time, and man, we get a few really good looks at her. She looks awesome. Her name is Reva. I'm sure she'll have like, third sister or whatever it is. She'll be referred to that in the show, but she looks cool. Do you
Yeah.
have thoughts?
Well, I'll say on the name thing first. By the way, I'll get on to the Fortress Inquisitorius thing in a bit because Fallen Order, duh. But the people were like, "Wait, isn't it canon that the Inquisitors like forget their names and stuff?" It's like, yes, it is. But let's give this a chance. There's probably a reason why.
Yeah, there's
There's
an
probably
explanation. Yeah.
wait till the series. Maybe it's just her designation. Like maybe she's not even like, maybe it's like third sister, as you said, third sister, fourth sister, but she's going by Reva just because.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe
pretty sure in the comics they've actually called Inquisitors like by their name. Like we've known like the names of it, but like they also have the thing like, like the Grand Inquisitor. He has an actual name, and someone in his life probably still calls him, Jeff, or if that was his name.
right.
But like maybe his mum, when she's not going to be like, "Oh, Grand Inquisitor, welcome home for dinner." It'll be like, "Oh, hey Jeff."
Hey Jeff.
So I'm
Yeah,
sure it's
no.
just I don't know. I don't know.
That's what look at Fallen Order. You never called her like second sister throughout the game. It was Cal Kestis referring to her as Trilla.
Exactly.
It's probably the same thing here.
That's the perfect example. Yeah.
It's probably the same thing here. And speaking of Jedi Fallen Order, come on, Fortress Inquisitorius. When we were coming up on this fortress looking type, and it was surrounded by like an ocean or whatever, I was like, wait, this is Nur. It could be Nur from Fallen Order that's actually in the system of Mustafar. Sorry for getting a little geeky there, but it's in the same system as Mustafar. So Vader's castle is not
You tell
too
them.
far. Not too far. Yeah. So I don't know. I was like, oh dude, this is great. Like I appreciate when Star Wars material does stuff like this just because it makes everything feel connected. Not that everything needs to be connected, but it's just like rewarding, it's like, wow, like
Yeah.
hey, I played that game.
Well, it's just
or
the
like,
little things that work. Like this just
right.
works,
It doesn't feel fan servicey. It just works and it's appropriate, So I appreciate that they were like, oh shoot, even if it looks different than what we see in Fallen Order, I don't care. It's like, all right, it's in there. You got the concept. That's awesome. So I'm sure budgeting played into it. If this is not actually the like triangle tower that they have in Fallen Order, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know what? You
Yeah.
you got the concept. So I'm excited for this. The Inquisitors look great. When I saw the fifth brother in there, I was like, wait a minute, hold up. That rumor was true. That's cool. So yeah, fifth brother and some other unknown Inquisitor. That's awesome, but it's weird to me that they're doing such a push for the Inquisitorius here. I was just like, I mean, I'm down. Like, the Inquisitors are like, I'm a lore junkie. I can be it sometimes, but like the Inquisitors are one of my favorite aspects of lore, just because I think it's like something that's not so new. It's kind of new, relatively new in canon and stuff. Just, I mean, ever since the canon timeline was like established in 2014 with the Inquisitor, but like I feel like it's still an evolving thing. Like Rebel season 1, we were introduced to the Inquisitor. Rebel season 2, turns out there's a whole army of them, and turns out that the last Inquisitor that was killed off, he was the Grand Inquisitor. So I feel like it's an evolving process, learning more about them and stuff. So I feel like Kenobi or this show Obi-Wan is going to really expand on that. So I'm excited.
No, definitely. And I think with this trailer specifically, I don't think the amount of Inquisitor focus that it has is going to be reflective in the show. Like I don't think
Right.
the whole show is just going to be
Right.
an Inquisitor fest, but I think
Right.
that could have just been maybe introducing, because not everyone knows about Inquisitors. Not everyone has played Fallen Order or watched Star Wars
Boo.
Rebels. So yeah, go play Fallen Order and watch Rebels. But so it could have just been that, but I don't know, maybe that was just the choice. And in the next trailer, I mean, I hope not, but they could focus on like Hayden and Darth Vader and stuff. So
Give
it'll
it
be very
to
interesting to
us.
see. We'll see how it plays out. But speaking of the Inquisitors, it's time to get our negative talk out of the way,
Oh
because
no.
man, the Grand Inquisitor. What happened there? What
I'm
happened
sorry,
there? I
Ari.
don't know how they let that one slip
I'm sorry,
because
Ari. I'm gonna have to bring a guest onto the podcast for this one. And
ooh,
audio
okay.
listeners, you'll just have to subscribe to our YouTube to know what we're talking about here. But you would like a few words with Disney and Lucasfilm. This is, or even above Ari. Ari, be careful what you say because someone's watching you
yeah.
above you. But yeah,
Oh, no.
it's
All right,
crazy, but
that way.
it's crazy. But this is the Grand Inquisitor, y'all. I mean, nice physique, nice face, and look at the yellow eyes. Very cool. A detail you can't
Yeah,
miss. Apparently you can. Apparently you can,
apparently.
Ari. Because what the hell was I looking at in that trailer? That
Yeah.
was not the Grand Inquisitor. That was like yeah, that was something else.
Let me play devil's advocate for 1 second.
Yeah.
I've heard one argument being talking about Dooku and how he looks very different in Clone Wars to into live action, but I don't
But
know. Maybe it's just because we're used to it. However, I think that's it's comparable, but also this is on a different
apples
level to
app,
that.
different level and also just different it's like comparing apples to oranges, right? Like
Yeah,
that's animation. Like I hate okay, look, translating live action to animation is way different because if
yeah,
it's more of like artistic choice, and that's what the micro series decided to do. And the Clone Wars was originally going to continue what the micro series did, so they adapted like Ventress's look, they adapted Dooku's look, they adapted Mace Windu's look. So it's like, yeah, that does not look like it's live action counterpart. However, that's still just they did that for just animation's sake, which is one thing, but it's like live action.
yeah,
It's very hard, I give them a lot of credit, in the prop department, hardworking people. Give them a lot of credit for even attempting this. But it's
yeah,
like, if someone like was just walking through and saw that and being like, wait, that's the final product. Like, could have used
yeah.
a tinge more work, a tinge more,
I
maybe.
think a bit more than a tinge.
Like, why is
If I'm going to be
Lucasfilm
completely honest with you all.
No, no. I mean, like, why is Lucasfilm scared of like I'm all for practical costumes and stuff because I think they look cool. But it's like
Yeah,
also don't be afraid to use CGI. Like I thought we were past this
yeah,
conversation because
exactly.
the prequel trilogy got so much hate for using, CGI and stuff. And then, it seemed like when we were leading up to The Force Awakens, people were just like, from the Lucasfilm side, just kind of being like expressing practical effects, practical effects, practical effects because of how much hate the prequels received for its CGI use. It's like, where have we found the balance? It's like there has to be a balance, people. I don't know. I felt like, yeah, this is when people complained about the Cad Bane appearance, how he looked in Boba Fett. I was like, please, like, get out of here with that because I think Cad Bane looked great. Just the
Yeah.
Grand
No,
Inquisitor,
Cad Bane
dude.
did look good. Yeah.
Dude, Grand Inquisitor, like, I looked at that and I was like, what is Humpty Dumpty doing in this show? And I was so confused. It just does not look like the Grand Inquisitor. And you have great interpretations of the Powans.
Yeah.
Is that the
Yeah.
alien species?
Yeah. I
In
was
Revenge
just
of the
looking it
Sith.
up. I knew this was going to come up.
In Revenge
Yeah.
of the Sith. So it's
Exactly.
like,
Well, that was I think that was everyone's first thought. Like,
yeah.
you've done it well before. Why did you go away from that?
And the
Like,
thing
you
is,
had
people
it done well.
and what's frustrating is at the beginning and well into like even the stuff on Nur, I'm like, this does not seem like a animation, or I'm sorry, an animation. This does not seem like a TV series, like a streaming series. Like this seems like a movie. Like this is
Yeah.
like cinematic on that. It's on that level. And
Mm.
when we got to this, it brought me back. I'm like, oh, this is a series. Like this feels like
Yeah.
something out of like, sorry, I know a lot of people love The Flash and Arrow, but this looks something from that universe. I was like, oh well, it looks
Yeah.
like your Saturday morning show or something, or your
Yeah.
CW show. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's very appalling, and it's just aggravating because it's like, guys, what is?
Well,
I
it's just
mean,
it's annoying because it's not like they can't do it. They have the resources. They
right?
have everything in their hands to get it right. But for
Exactly.
some reason they make like a conscious decision to go this way. Like Mike, actually I want you to talk about this because you were talking about it earlier about how does someone like Dave Filoni, because I'm sure he was on set at one stage, come and look at that and think, "Oh yeah, that looks great." Like,
Right.
you know,
Like I'm sure you know, even though he's not the showrunner of the show or whatnot, and
Yeah.
this is
Oh, he
this,
would have been on set at least one
yeah,
day.
he
Like,
put
yeah.
he probably was on set for the whole thing, you know,
Yeah,
just
but
serving
also
his
don't forget Dave Filoni has all these rules of like, if you're gonna touch my characters,
right,
like you need to ask me about it first. And so
exactly.
he would have known all he would have they would have covered all bases with him. So
Exactly. So
yeah.
I'm curious as to, you know, Dave Filoni. Like, if I saw my character, you know, Grand Inquisitor's cat, his character, just there being like, hmm, I have some suggestions. I have some notes. You know, I would
Yeah.
expect him to say that just because, dude, the amount of the reactions from Twitter on Instagram, and it's some people, you know, throwing eggs at us, tomatoes, being like, "You Star Wars fans complain too much." You
Yeah.
know,
Can
it's
I
like,
say something to that?
yes, yes, say it,
Man,
please.
people say that and like, okay, it's not, yeah, sure, it's Star Wars, you know, don't complain, whatever. If this was in the sequel trilogy, oh my god, we would not stop hearing about it ever. Like this would go on and on and on, and people would not stop complaining about it. But the fact that it's in Obi-Wan, which like is this untouchable, like holy grail, which you know it is going to be fantastic, but it's like, yeah, I feel like if you're not annoyed by it, fine. But it's like, yeah, if someone's just is saying I don't like the series because of, you know, the Inquisitor. Yeah, don't forget, people said they don't like Rebels because the lightsabers are skinny. So to
Right,
say like, oh yeah, like you know, that is not a very good translation from animation to live action is fair enough. Like, yeah, you shouldn't be like, I don't like the series because of it,
right,
but it's a, like I just think it's a pretty fair thing to criticize is all I
right.
think. And people being like, "Oh, yeah, stop complaining." I think I don't know. I think it's pretty fair to criticize it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, it's not as you were saying, and the point that I was just gonna make. This doesn't hinder my excitement for the series at all. I'm still
Oh
very
yeah,
much
no, for
excited.
sure.
I just hate that I was watching this trailer and being like, "Wow, this feels like Revenge of the Sith Part 2 or something." And
Mm.
then I see this
Yeah,
monstrosity, and I'm
no, exactly.
like Frankenstein looking dude, and it just pulls me right on. It's like, damn, I really don't want that to happen during the series while I'm watching the series moment.
Yeah,
And then
no,
it's like you
for
see this
sure.
blob in front of me, and it's like, what is going on? Like, first of all, where was Jason Isaacs?
Yeah,
Because as I was telling Ari before we start recording, the voice. I mean, if they thought this guy was a better actor, awesome.
I'm
Or
sure
you
he
know,
is a fine actor, but it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it just
But
doesn't matter if the interpretation isn't going to translate. Then
no,
there's
and the voice, I told Ari I didn't even notice that the Grand Inquisitor was speaking. It was so in the background. It's like getting
yeah,
a great voice actor for Thrawn, right? And then
mm,
being like in Rebels, and then having like some like just monotone dude come in and being like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna be the new Thrawn for the live action stuff."
yeah,
I really hope they don't do that for the Ahsoka series with Thrawn. I really hope they keep it to what
yeah,
Rebels did. But yeah, I was, it was so appalled. I was like, where's Jason Isaacs, the original guy who voiced him? It's like he's a live action actor, so it's like
yeah.
perfect moment for him. He even expressed, I think Ari, you posted it not too long ago.
He did.
He
Yeah,
expressed interest about coming back as the Inquisitor. So
yeah,
it's like, why not? Why?
yeah.
That's my question. I'm just
It's
appalled.
puzzling that they're gonna. I'm sure one day we'll find out an answer. I don't think it'll like we'll find out an answer and be like, oh, okay,
Right.
fair enough. But
Yeah.
there will be an answer of sorts. But I mean, yeah, and then like, yeah, I agree with the voice though. It's like the voice just it just did not hit because the Grand Inquisitor sounds phenomenal in Star Wars
Booming.
Rebels, and it
Booming.
just did not hit the same.
Nope.
And like, it's nothing against the actor. The actor is probably great. That's probably why they were so desperate to cast him. However, it's like it just sometimes it just doesn't work when you're using an already existing character to, you know, get a really good actor. Like this is a terrible example, but like Taika Waititi is like a good actor. That's like literally just the only person I could think of. Would
Hmm.
you cast him as the Grand Inquisitor though? Like probably not.
Heck
Just
yeah.
because he's a great actor doesn't mean that he should come and, you know, play an already existing character. Anyway, enough.
Wait. No, one more thing about Jason Isaacs, because praise to him.
Yeah, for sure.
Remember that one scene in Rebels? By the way, go check out our top 5 Rebels episodes that
Yeah,
we did. But that one scene where he comes in, keep them contained. I want them alive. Like, he
yeah,
just came in with his voice booming. He owned
oh
that
yeah,
room. So it's like
Definitely.
when I think of the Grand Inquisitor, that's the dude I think of. So for this
Yeah.
dude to blend in the background, I don't know. But if we're right or wrong, let us know in the YouTube comments. I want to hear your take on the Inquisitor, and all is fair game.
Yeah. Anyway, is what it is. We have to get over it. Hopefully, it doesn't take us out of the series or take us out of the, you know, oh, I just stumble on my words sometimes. Take us out of the like immersion of the series.
Uh,
Um, anyway, so he does say something though, which is the key to hunting Jedi is patience, which I found interesting because patience is sort of like a Jedi philosophy. So for the Inquisitors to sort of take that on board, remember, Grand Inquisitor is a former Jedi, so maybe he's like blending the two codes, which is kind of
ooh.
interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. You don't usually when I think of Inquisitors, I don't well, you know what? The Grand Inquisitor, I would say he was patient out of the bunch that we met in
Oh, he was
Rebels.
definitely like clearly the smartest. Yeah,
Right, because
yeah,
everyone just went like Scooby-Doo villains and just went running around aimlessly and whatever, but I think the Inquisitor always had, like, some type of strategy and some type of, um, you know, uh, plan set in motion when he was after Kanan and Ezra, and,
yeah.
he always knew how to play his cards well, so I don't know, I felt some, some vibes from that coming through this line being like, "We're gonna get him," but I'm very intrigued as to forgetting his appearance. I'm very intrigued on how the Grand Inquisitor will play in the series. I don't think he'll have a big role. I think we'll see obviously Reva more than the Grand Inquisitor, but I'm
Yeah.
still grateful that they brought him in. I'm still
Yeah.
like,
It's a good
okay, cool.
acknowledgement to Rebels. You know, everyone was
Exactly.
hating on Rebels, and now he's in the beloved Obi-Wan's show. So
We
yeah,
are seeing. No,
yeah,
but I appreciate that. But it's, I have my gripes about the appearance. But yeah, I'm interested how he'll play into the story. Imagine him and Vader having. Oh, never mind. I don't want that. That seems so goofy to the way he's looking. Just having a
guess we'll
series
never
moment.
know what Mike was thinking. It
We'll
will
have a
forever
series.
remain a mystery.
It will remain a mystery, but yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm interested in if Kenobi will fight the Grand Inquisitor. Very interesting because I'm sorry, but
yeah,
Kenobi would like wipe the floor with this dude. He would like kill him
definitely.
on the spot. So
Well, I mean, if Kanan can beat him, I feel like
yeah.
yeah.
Wait, imagine if they kill the Grand Inquisitor in the series. Imagine
Oh
the
my
fandom.
god.
Imagine the fandom. I
Oh
would be
my god.
mad. I
Yeah.
would be mad.
There is a 0% chance that's happening.
Oh, for sure.
Um,
But imagine, just imagine.
yeah. Yeah, I don't want to. It's just the world just gone to crap. But yeah. So we see Obi-Wan on a train. By the way, Tatooine, all this transportation. We've got trains. We've got
Love it.
public transport everywhere.
Love
Like,
it.
yeah,
Love it.
just Tatooine being very deep. We're having a real deep dive exploration of the whole planet.
They're getting their transportation and infrastructure in check. I love it.
Good on them. They're hustling. They're hustling. Um, but yeah, and then another quote from the Grand Inquisitor: "Jedi can't help what they are. Their compassion leaves a trail," which couldn't be more true. It's like the Sith, that to the Jedi, their greatest strength is their compassion, but to the Sith and the Inquisitors and dark side users, it's their greatest weakness. So, I mean, that's just
Mm.
classic Star Wars morality and whatnot. But
Oh
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
cool to see, and hear, I should say. But yeah, so Moses Ingram's character is on Reva, I should say, is on Tatooine, and we see some legs hanging. So someone's been hung, which is pretty gruesome. So interesting to see that they've gone with that. And she seems to be like, I don't know, herding up all the people and just questioning. And then I think we see in that Entertainment Weekly picture, like she gets really up close to
Yep.
Owen, and he must just be absolutely terrified. Sorry about my camera, by the way, to video
It,
watchers. I don't know why. I
it's
need to read the
it's
settings.
it's the Grand Inquisitor come alive. He's
It
angry at
is.
Ari's takes.
But yeah, so she's got all up in Owen Lars' business, and then even later in the trailer we see him get confronted by her. So I feel like, yeah, the Inquisitor is on Tatooine. Like it's going to be interesting to see, like, they're going to get that close to catching Obi-Wan, but it's not going to happen because obviously we know, unless they decide to retcon that too, like they did to the Kanan comics. But no, I'm joking.
They
Oh
will.
god, I should not
They
have said
will.
that.
They will.
Um, but No, so obviously, yeah, they're gonna get that close, like they're on Tatooine, but they're still not gonna catch him. So it's gonna be very interesting to see. And yeah, I don't know. What do you think of
But
seeing Reva on Tatooine?
but I mean, the question is like, why are they on Tatooine, right? Like, what?
I reckon Obi-Wan is gonna like be a bit of a vigilante, and then one time it's gonna go too far. Like he'll raise some eyebrows, and then he does one thing which like I don't know, someone calls saying, "Oh, I saw this guy, using the Force," or similar to Cal in
Cal.
Fallen Order.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's what I
it'll be like
that's what
that.
I've been thinking.
Yeah,
He's gonna have
yeah.
a scene like that. I mean, look at how much trouble he got
Actually,
into the
yeah, no,
comics.
that'll be exactly like that because the Inquisitors are the ones that literally come and confront him in that scene. So yeah,
What if I mean, look at the shot at the beginning of the trailer where he's being hauled around in that train. Maybe
yeah,
something goes awry in the workplace. They're doing some
oh
mining
yeah,
and he saves someone. I mean, yeah, just how we
yeah,
said about Cal, something
yeah,
like that might happen and get the Inquisitors on alert. But yeah, they it looks like they know what they're looking for because they keep questioning like where is he? So it's like
yeah.
I'm curious as
They're
to
fully aware that it's seems to be. They're like they know.
exactly. And I'm
Yeah,
interested now. I mean, we talked a bit about this on the Rebels podcast, but when at the end when Palpatine is like, hinting at Vader at some things that Ahsoka might lead them to, Vader goes like, such as Kenobi. I'm interested
yeah,
at what happens with Kenobi and Vader after this, and
yeah,
how much the Inquisitors are led on to on Vader and Obi-Wan's past and stuff like that. So yeah, all this, there's a lot of things like at first it's like, ooh, imagery in this trailer, but there's a lot of questions being raised, and
yeah,
that's one of them. Like, why are the Inquisitors on Tatooine? Oh my gosh, the Inquisitors are so close to Luke. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
And
Exactly.
Owen getting involved too, the way
Yeah,
the death stare of between Owen and Reva and the showrunner Deborah Chow,
yeah,
she said that thank George, like thank God George casted Joe Edgerton as
yeah, yeah,
Owen
yeah.
in this, and I'm like, oh shoot, he's gonna give like the performance of a lifetime or something, right? So I'm
And
excited.
what I was saying earlier, that's I've only seen 10 seconds of it, and I'm just like, I'm just getting really good vibes off this. I don't know
Yep.
what it is, but
Yep. He had, besides Obi-Wan, obviously, he had the best. I
yeah.
mean, no competition next to the Grand Inquisitor, but he had the best facial
Oh
expressions in the
god.
whole thing. That was great.
Yeah,
I was like, ooh, give me more Owen. Yeah.
yeah,
Great choice. Great choice. And I'm glad they brought Joe Edgerton back. He's been clamoring to come back to Star Wars. So I'm glad that he's getting his
absolutely.
proper showtime.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, well, something else I just want to say about the Tatooine thing. Yeah, it's just so so much intrigue being raised with like, so they know he's on Tatooine, but then he takes them off planet. And then, like, maybe does
Right.
he deal with them there, but then he just goes back to Tatooine and they're like, nah, he left there. He's probably not there anymore. Like, I'm
Right.
sure they'll answer these questions, but it's just interesting to see.
I've seen some people say that like because the Inquisitors are on Obi-Wan's trail, he leaves the planet to cause another scene somewhere else so they're away from Luke.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's called to something, maybe he's I don't know, because at the point where we meet the story, like right, we're definitely gonna find Obi-Wan just like sulking around as we said earlier.
Yeah.
But at what point does the story pick up and get him out of that stage, out of that mood? Like what gets the story rolling? So I wonder what, we know the Inquisitors are involved and they're gonna be a factor into that, but like what gets Obi-Wan off world and stuff. And I've heard some people say that that contradicts canon or whatever.
I don't
I'm
think
not.
so.
I don't think so either. I don't.
I
Am I
think
missing something?
no, I think, I think people saying that is in reference to, well, why would Obi-Wan ever leave Luke? That is his life mission,
Right. Right.
But he's literally going to leave to protect Luke because
Right.
he's saying, well, they're way too close to Luke. I need to, because he might be thinking they might be able to feel his presence because he's so strong in the Force or something like that. He's like, I need to get the hell out of here. So
Right.
give him room or whatever
And
it is. Maybe he calls on someone else, be like, hey, can you come to Tatooine and like,
yeah. And
so who knows?
and it's very smart. And I think this kind of feels like Rogue One to me, where they fix like that plot hole in A New Hope where it's like oh, you guys just had an exhaust port here. I think this is, one of the things fans have raised, like one of the criticisms about, like, isn't it dumb that Obi-Wan is out there like a force sensitive so close to Luke? Like it's just, or even to keep Luke on Tatooine, Vader's homeworld, right? It's like to keep him on there. You don't think Vader would have checked there? Well, guess what? They're checking, and it looks like they don't find Luke. So obviously, so yeah, I'm curious as to what's gonna happen with all that. So let us know your theories down in the YouTube comments. I will be reading them because I'm interested in what you guys have to say. We are interested in what you guys have to say.
Definitely. So speaking of that planet that Obi-Wan has escaped to, it's called Daiyu or something. Oh boy, I'm butchering.
Or as Americans say, Daiyu. I'm just kidding.
Sure.
I don't know.
I mean, that sounds more like it. But this planet looks awesome. It looks like Coruscant, but just another planet, really. The lights looked great. And we even got that shot of the fifth brother, who also, I mean, he did not look great either, but he looked a lot better than his costume looked fantastic. It was just the face. But I mean, just cool to see him. But yeah, this planet looks cool. What do you think?
Dude, first of all, I thought this was Coruscant. I was like, oh shoot, they're reusing well, it still looks like it regardless. It looks like they're reusing remember right before the pandemic, like I don't know how active you were on like social media or whatnot, right before the pandemic hit. I remember a leaked video of George Lucas's like 2010 like live action series,
and there was like all those actors like walking.
It looked like
I thought of that when I was watching
really
this. Yeah,
it looked like they reused the same set to me. It just looked like we have some old sets around.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay, I thought it was the only one. Okay, cool. I thought they might have reused old sets, which I think is cool. It's like rather than letting that go to waste, there's some George Lucas up in here, so that's cool.
I wonder if they did. That would be funny.
I'd be down for that. I mean, because that originally that was on Coruscant, and now here we're on Daiyu. But I'm kind of glad it's not Coruscant. I'm like, Obi-Wan was literally telling all the Jedi, like, stay away, go away.
He wouldn't. Yeah. And it would be so cool to see Coruscant again.
But. Yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. He's on some other planet. So I'm interested. They wanted to go for like a Hong Kong feel in this, and I definitely felt that. Definitely felt like we were back in the Fast and Furious movies with the actor who's playing the fifth brother. I can't think of him right now. Don't know. But yeah, it just feels like that, like kind of Tokyo also vibe. So yeah, I'm down. Like Obi-Wan's hiding. He's I don't know what he's doing over there. Maybe causing some trouble to get the Imperial forces away from Tatooine. We'll see. But yeah, something's definitely going awry up here. So
definitely. Also, something I accidentally skipped past with the Grand Inquisitor. We do see him twirling his lightsaber around like they do in Rebels. Are we going to see an Inquisitor do the little helicopter?
Yes, we definitely will. I hope we do. So everybody can like scream again like they did. You know what's so funny real quick? Twilight of the Apprentice, that really cool scene where I was in high school and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I was like, oh, that's cool. Then instead of everyone be like, Vader and Ahsoka just fought, everyone was like, I can't believe the Inquisitors did that. Yeah, exactly. And then you guys yell at us when we have critiques about, appearances that matter. But anyways, that lightsaber twirl, I was like, okay, cool. But it kind of looks silly him doing. I mean, it looked
he's like, tell me where he is. It's just like
right. It was the
felt
voice
a little bit goofy, but
it felt goofy
Star Wars.
to me.
Star Wars is goofy.
Yeah, Star Wars is goofy. That's what we say. But yeah, it was just goofy. It probably just a man trying to sell lettuce or something or cabbage or whatever,
exactly.
And just being like, where is he? Tell me where he is with his lightsaber spinning.
It reminded me of Maul in Solo, where he's talking to Kira and he just turns his lightsaber on. It's like
I would defend that. I would defend that. That was Maul showing off to Kira, being like, yo, you might have climbed the ranks here in Crimson Dawn, but guess what? I'm going to still reign. I don't know. I felt like that was I don't know. I thought he was showing his supremacy there. No, it wasn't. No, that is not goofy. That was a cool kick-ass scene, if I may say. That was awesome.
Right. Podcast incoming on a 2-hour discussion on that scene.
It will happen, believe it or not.
Yeah, and so that Jedi symbol that Reva is like touching. I think that was from the cave that Obi-Wan was in that picture we saw. I'm
Interesting.
gonna assume, but I was thinking in my head, I was like, feels a little weird. Was Obi-Wan just in there, just like drawing on the wall, like,
Right.
ooh, Jedi symbol? Like,
It
I
look
don't know. That just
it
seems a
looked
bit
more
strange.
symbols than that too.
Yeah,
It
there was
looked
a few others. So
yeah.
who knows what it is, but
Yeah,
we will
interesting.
see. That's what the trailer's for. Raise intrigue and get us excited.
Yeah.
But the final thing to talk about was probably Obi-Wan gets confronted by this Reva character, and he's using a blaster. Obviously, doesn't want to
So
use his
uncivilized.
lightsaber. So yeah, I don't know. We're going to see a confrontation on that planet. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought at first I didn't even first time I watched the trailer, I was like, oh, some type of firefight going on. The second time I watched it, I'm like, that's Obi-Wan Kenobi. That was surprising.
That's effing Obi-Wan Kenobi, as he said, as the memes say.
As the meme says. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Of course, he's not gonna be running around with his lightsaber
That was
swinging
a
around.
great impression from you, by the way,
Really, you're not being sarcastic.
of you. No, I thought it was funny.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
I
Um,
enjoyed it.
Thank you. Was it a better interpretation than the Grand Inquisitor live action? Never mind, that's a different discussion. We'll cease on that. But
Oh
no,
boy.
for real, I did that was a really cool rooftop stuff. Yeah, like if you're doing like a Tokyo, Hong Kong type style, like have those shootouts. I feel
Mhm.
like all those
Yeah,
action
definitely.
movies, thrillers that happen there, like they're always chasing, running on rooftops, shooting. Yeah, give us that. That's awesome. The
Yeah.
one scene that I was like, what is this? When all these green birds start flying, I
Yeah.
thought it was
It was
cool.
cool. Yeah. It was
It
just
was a
weird though.
cool color palette. You had purple and then you had
Yeah.
like bright green springing
Mm.
up. But I was like, am I watching like one of the Disney live action movies or something? Like one of their like remakes? I was like, okay, this looks really cool. Like Lion King or something or Jungle Book. I was like,
Mm.
all right, cool. But yeah, I'm interested in maybe that's symbolic for something or maybe just birds being freed. I don't know. But yeah, that was cool. I'm
Yeah.
excited. Was Reva holding a blaster in this? Or was she just chasing him with a lightsaber? I can't remember.
Who?
Reva, the
Oh no,
Inquisitor.
I don't think so. I don't
You
think
know,
so.
she wasn't
I
holding
think
a
it was just
lightsaber, she wasn't
Obi-Wan.
holding a blaster.
She wasn't holding a blaster.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, he
yeah,
was having to shoot out with somebody else or something. I don't
yeah,
know. But yeah,
yeah.
really cool stuff. And it's
Oh
cool.
right, that's what you're
Yeah,
talking about. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure on that. But yeah, really cool scene from Obi-Wan shooting a blaster. Like I love that they're connecting back. They probably were like, oh, remember when Obi-Wan like
Yeah.
killed Grievous with a blaster and threw it down like so uncivilized. Imagine him doing that or ironically holding
Oh,
a
if he
blaster and
says so
shooting.
uncivilized again, I'm not gonna. That's the kind of fan service I can't stand. Is stuff like that. Like,
Oh,
okay,
right, right, right.
they'll have their hello there. Like, okay, you can do one hello there.
Yeah,
I'll be
right.
okay with that, but no more. I don't want every episode to start with hello there. Like,
Right, 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 right. Shout out to the marketing team. It's like you finally got something right. You finally read the room. I mean, not
yeah,
that I ever found that meme like super funny like everyone else, but it's nice that the marketing team
it's iconic. Yeah,
on Twitter being like the first tweet for promoting the Obi-Wan series was hello there. And it's like, wow, that's something that can appeal to the general masses. For me, I'm just like, okay. But I thought it was like funny in a sense of like, wow, you guys finally
yeah,
got with it. So, anyways, yeah, maybe if they do that line, probably not. I don't think
yeah.
they will. However,
I
I
gotta
just thought
say,
it. Yeah,
sorry. I'm gonna lose this thought if I don't get it out now.
spit it.
Something we were talking about earlier, Obi-Wan is really, he's still grieving, he's still, as we like to say, down bad. But
Down bad.
I think people might not respond to this well because Obi-Wan is sort of that light-hearted character who has all the memes, hello there, so uncivilized, like joking after a battle like that. And I just don't think we're gonna get that version of him. I think we're gonna get sort of this old, not this old, well, this sort of like darker, like brooding version of him where he might not, he's not going to be the guy who we saw flirting with Ventress in Clone Wars. It's not going to be that Obi-Wan. It could be this,
Of
um,
course.
so I'm curious to see how people respond to that if that is what they choose, because maybe they will just go for the more like humorous Obi-Wan as we know him. I'm curious to see. That's just struck a chord with me. I'm interested because But will they veer from doing something a bit darker because they're worried? Well, that's not why people love Obi-Wan, because a lot of people love Obi-Wan for, his sarcastic humor, making fun of Anakin, flirting with Ventress, saying hello there, all that stuff. What do you think of that?
I feel like Clone Wars did a great way of balancing that. I feel like there were
Yeah.
serious moments where Obi-Wan was serious and brooding sounding like, but like there was these
Yeah.
moments also where he could throw out quips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yes, this is a different part of his life. Yes, it is a dark time for him. Yes, he's in exile, but I feel like who Obi-Wan is just still going to remain. I feel like we might still get those little glimpses, maybe not like as fully as we once did, in Revenge of the Sith or in Clone Wars, but I feel like those there might be like little moments with Reva where it'd be like, you're not the first female uh, red light saber dueling spinning something that's like, I don't know, like a referring to Ventress or something, I don't know,
Yeah. Yeah.
but like obviously he would say it with better class and actually makes
Yeah.
sense what he's saying, but like, you know what I'm saying, it's, I don't know, I feel like
No,
there
I get you. I get you.
still might be like little quips here and there, but from what we've seen so far, he's been very serious and very
Yeah.
sad and very mournful. So I'm scared in terms of what you're saying,
Yeah.
how people might not perceive that as well. But yeah, this. I hope this series, at least with the first like 3 seconds of the trailer, felt like a character study
Yeah.
of the character. So I'm very curious as to if they're gonna do that in the series and if they're going to like have an evolution with the character to where he gets back to that cheery deposition. So we'll see.
Yeah. We will see. And most of all, though, no matter what they do with them, I know that Ewan McGregor will nail it.
He
So
will.
excited to see him.
He
The,
already
the
nailed
the
it.
few little bits we saw, I'm already just like, oh, what an actor, what a guy! Like,
What a
just
guy! Yeah,
so excited to see him back in Star Wars. Finally, the wait is
fine.
finally over. But I mean, that's pretty much the end of the trailer. We hear Vader breathing at the end, which, as I said, that's all I want from Vader in terms of the trailers. Save it all for the show, because that is going to
Boo!
be the real, like, that's going to be the juicy stuff, as
I like Bowie
as
and
people
Ari.
say. I can tell. Well, actually, who were we booing someone last week, or were you booing me?
I was
Oh,
booing
because
you.
I said I liked Rebels more than Clone Wars. That was it.
Yeah, I was booing you.
Yeah. Um. Anyway, but man, any final thoughts before we finish up?
Trailer did its job. I was already excited for this. I mean, we all like it's Ewan McGregor. All you have, even if Hayden Christensen wasn't coming back, which, by the way, I have to say again, I met the dude in person. Great guy, awesome guy. Actually, fist bumped him, even though COVID restrictions and stuff. I just went up to him, was like, "Thank you so much," and he smiled at me. Thanks for coming on. Like, oh, that moment forever will forever be one of my favorite, or probably my favorite Star Wars moment ever. Like that dude, I met Anakin Skywalker, also known as Darth Vader. Like that's crazy. Anyways,
Hell yeah.
when I make eye contact with him, by the way, that was, I could have melted on the floor. I was like, that is my childhood hero. But anyways, yeah, you could have just had Ewan McGregor in this, and excitement level through the roof. Like no trailer, no nothing, just Ewan McGregor. Like, hey, Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan. I'm in.
Yeah,
However,
definitely.
still this trailer was able to bring new things to look forward to. I'm interested in how the Inquisitors will play, where Darth Vader starts to factor in. Does he know about Obi-Wan? Does he send the Inquisitors to Tatooine? Does Obi-Wan just get discovered there? What's
Yeah.
going on, and at what point do the Inquisitors report back to Vader and being like, or his name is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Gotta come out of the meditation chamber from Vader's castle. Gotta go to Tatooine myself, or gotta go wherever Obi-Wan's located. That would be super cool. So
Definitely.
I'm interested. I really hope this series does a good balance of character study and also setting up this Vader and Obi-Wan fight, because it seems like it's gonna be a big chunk of
climax.
yeah. So, and by the way, hope the official trailer, when they drop it, I hope we do see Vader. I think if you do use Duel of Fates, you you gotta show us Vader at some points, just because it's like, wow, you're throwing all your
No,
cards
no,
at
no,
us.
no,
Throw
no, no,
Vader
no.
at us. I mean,
Don't.
like I could go without seeing him, but I just think it's like, if it's gonna be a moment that I look back to at these trailers being like, that was our. I remember
I
Rogue
guess.
One. I remember Rogue One being like, no,
Yeah,
don't show Vader. We all know he's gonna be in it. But when they
yeah.
showed Vader in the like final trailer, mind blown. The internet went crazy. So just if we got, I don't want to see a glimpse at their duel at all, but if we just see Vader standing in a corner, great.
Yeah.
Everyone would be through
No,
the
no,
roof
no,
again.
no, no.
So you got to do it.
Save it for the show. I mean, they're going to do it because they want as many people to watch the show, and if they show
Right.
him, people get excited. So they're going to.
Right.
But I'm still holding out hope they won't. But yeah, I say my final thoughts is something I've been thinking about a lot. I really want this series to show the moment Obi-Wan realizes Anakin's still alive and he became Darth Vader. Because
Right.
like that, oh man, that would just, because I think they did that in Legends, where Obi-Wan's at the bar and I think he finds out somehow. But I would love to see that moment in this series. Anyway, though, that is our trailer breakdown. We've been going for an hour here,
A good
talking all
hour.
things Obi-Wan. There's so much Obi-Wan content we're going to be doing leading up to the series, and man, we've got some exciting podcast stuff coming regarding just generally the podcast, but also specifically Obi-Wan. Some really exciting stuff, which hopefully we will announce soon. So stay tuned. Yeah, no. So excited to tell you guys all about that. But that just about wraps us up.
Well, yeah, y'all can definitely stay tuned for more podcasts just like this one. Listen, we broke down what was that, a 2 minute, 1 minute teaser
Yeah.
trailer. We broke it down into an hour. We could talk about anything. If we just sat here and talked about the EW images, we could have made it a 2 hour conversation just as well. But you know what? You heard our thoughts on the trailer. We want to hear yours. Make sure you go to our YouTube at the Star Wars Exchange and comment your thoughts on the trailer. Seeing a lot of things out there of people pointing out things or people dropping speculation. So, if you're a fan of us, if you're in our community of the SW Exchange, make sure you tell us what you thought of the trailer. We want to hear your thoughts. All right. Also, speaking of the SW Exchange, make sure you follow us on Instagram. Last week we said we hit like 50 followers. Now we hit 70. So we're building up a community. Come join us. Have fun with us. We post like funny clips of the podcast when we can. So come on, when Ari's around, there's got to be some funny bits and stuff. So it's fun. I've been meaning to post one of my reaction of when he says Gregor. It sounded so foreign to me. I was like, I've never heard him say Gregor like that, but all right, it makes sense. But
Man,
so
get
Gregor,
out of here.
yeah, now he's making fun of me. Gregor, yeah, he's making fun of me now. Yeah, so go follow us on Instagram at the SW Exchange and get ready for some posts of just us. And yeah, we have some also cool things coming to that account sooner or later. So stay tuned to that. But make sure if you want to see our beautiful faces, check us out on YouTube. Like I said, watch our streams, watch our actual video interactions. Ari's got his setup there, I got mine, and we're just two guys chilling, talk about Star Wars. If you want to see our faces, if you don't want to see our
subscribe as well,
and subscribe as well.
YouTube,
like us as well. Drop a like, please. Definitely. It would help us out so much. But if you don't want to see these beautiful faces, you can always go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever podcasts are available. Review us, rate us, do all that fancy stuff, and subscribe for more Star Wars discussions. And if you want to keep up with Star Wars chats, discussions, Ari, where can the good people find you? You're usually known for posting all the latest news, whether it's Obi-Wan merch reveals or just Star Wars news in general.
We're not getting into that right now.
Where can people find you?
Yeah, no. Instagram, Star Wars _exchange, and Twitter, the SW Exchange. And follow, as Mike said before, our joint account on Instagram at the SW Exchange. So yeah, get around it.
Best of both worlds. And yeah, if you're not busy doing that, make sure to follow me _Star Wars, trying to cover.
No, they're busy.
No, they're busy. No. Let's go back to this Ari thing. He was down bad. Speaking of down bad, like Obi-Wan, Ari was really down bad and posted Obi-Wan reveal from a toy packaging. That's how sometimes down bad we are.
All right, I'm not biting. I'm not
He's
biting
not biting.
this.
Only Grega bites. But anyways, we shall follow me, all of y'all.
That was shocking.
All underscore Star Wars for the latest news and also cool facts. Listen, Kenobi's coming out. I'm going to be covering a lot of facts about the Inquisitorius, a lot about Tatooine in general, I guess. So maybe Uncle Owen, behind the scenes facts. Make sure to follow me, all underscore
Get
Star
around it.
Wars. And seriously, subscribe to the YouTube because, listen, Obi-Wan's coming. But, still, we still got a while till we get there. But we're not going anywhere. We're still going to be talking about Star Wars. There's lots to talk about. Yo, Bad Batch didn't get a release date or a tease at the Disney press conference. We'll talk about that soon. Star Wars Celebration, what's going on with that? Talking about that soon. So make sure to subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time. Until then, may the Force be with you, and adios.
That's it. See ya.